So long to come back to Australia, mate?
Yeah, I think it's probably commitments other places, you know, touring everywhere else. And they got us at the beginning of the year. Usually around this time of the year in the rest of the world it's quiet, so, you know, they got us first.
Did the fact that we're having a bicentennial have any other added attraction?
Bicentennial?
Incentive to get out here?
Sounds a bit sexual with AC/DC, doesn't it? Bye. Nah, it's nothing for us. It was just the right time. In fact, I didn't know until I got here that it was a bicentennial on.
How much time do you spend in Australia when you're not working?
It depends. Sometimes you can get here. Like last year, I got here twice. But before that, once in 3 years. So if ever I can get here, I try to get here. It's still the best city, well, for me, because I grew up in Sydney, so I know my way about. It's about one of the best cities in the world.
Do you still think of Sydney and Australia as home?
Yeah, for me, yeah. Though a lot of people from Sydney would probably deny it, but yeah, for me, it's pretty much.
We've just had Pink Floyd come through town with a sensational stage show. How important is the actual staging to an AC/DC performance?
Well, I think people want their value these days. I mean, they're paying big money to see a rock show. I mean, you've got to give them the value of what they're paying. I mean, I've never liked things done on the cheap, you know. I think if you get to a stage, I think people really expect it of you. I mean, it's great to be able to walk in a small place and when boredom, you know.
When the band first started, you kind of into a bit of a Superman costume, I believe, there for a while.
I didn't know anything that was going. Gorilla suits, anything, you know. But it was all for the same thing, you know, make people look and see what was going on. I remember Bon Scott climbing all over the Horden Pavilion on a spider web one night. You know. We couldn't get him down. Yeah.
Do you think there'll come a time when we see AC/DC on stage without Angus dressed as a schoolboy?
Well, the schoolboy always, which for me was always, it helped me, you know, because when I put on the suit, I could hop on stage, and it gives me a bit of confidence. You know?
To be somebody else?
Yeah, it does. It just, as soon as it goes on, you know, you get this impish feeling, and as soon as I've got the suit on, nothing can go wrong. You know? So it's always, for me, a bit of confidence.
Yeah. Well, speaking of the old days, we're going to have a look at one of your greatest clips, I reckon. This is Jailbreak.
Jailbreak. Around the World, which was Let There Be Rock. You know, that opened the door for us, you know, as soon as that album came out. And that's probably one of my favourite albums. I like Highway to Hell very much. Back in Black. You know, all those. Yeah. And I like the new one very much.
Blow Up Your Video is an interesting title that had us a little worried there at MTV when we saw the title of that. What's the message behind that one?
For us, it was always, we were probably a band that's best seen in a live situation. Yeah. And that's how the title came about. It's not to be taken like go out and blow up your video. It's more, how do you say, instead, because everything's automatic these days. A kid can flick on the button on the TV and he's got a remote control. You can zoom through everything and get it coming in from all over the world. You know, you can turn on your radio and get rock coming in from America. You know, so for us, the best thing as a band, it was always we were great on stage. You know,
you've always had the image of being a pretty hard-living, hard-drinking band. How
hard living, hard drinking? Oh yeah.
Well, am I right or wrong?
I can't say anything. My missus isn't right.
How close is that to the truth?
I think a lot of it get bored. Certainly when I started, there was a lot of stuff floating around, you know. And every time I used to go into America, I had every dope dealer in the world waiting backstage for me, you know. But me, I drink tea, you know. And at that time, I used to drink milk in chocolate, you know. I used to get dope squad people coming up to me and saying, what's the little guy on, you know? And I would say, you know, I eat chocolate bars. So they were running around with these little chemical kits trying to find out what this new drug was, chocolate, you know? Yeah. So, but I think a lot of it's just over the years, you know? I mean, the band itself, though, like to drink, you know? I mean, there's a few fish among them, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. The band's been described as many things. One of the tags is, of course, heavy metal. How do you feel about being called a heavy metal band?
Yeah, well, for us, when we started, and people would say, "What are you doing? You were playing rock and roll music, you know," and to get through, I mean, it was a bit louder than most, you know, and we were never conscious of what people really thought of us. We just went out there to play, you know, and we found out long ago the best thing that we done on stage was rock music. You know, we knew how to rock, and that's. For us, all it is. If anything, it's probably hard rock music. It's not. We've been called punk. I think in Britain they used to call it new wave, and America was always looking for a good tag for us. But I think we were far away from the heavy metal thing, you know, because that seems to have a. You know, they're all quite similar. A lot of these bands. You know? They've all got these sort of, oh, sorry, I'm bumping the mic here. They've all got these pre-planned footsteps and stuff. You know?
And the spandex tights and all the gear.
Yeah, and, you know, and they've always got the guy with the blonde rug going.
Yeah.
And the drummer that smiles at the camera, you know. So for us, we were always been, you know, we can only be ourselves, you know. I mean, that's how we are. I mean, we could never really pose. We were not a posy sort of a band, you know.
So Bon Jovi are safe at the moment.
Oh, yeah, I think they're all safe.
Mate, congratulations on the new album. Congratulations on the tour. Thanks for coming home.
Yeah.
And
my pleasure, Richard.
thanks for being on MTV.